Guys, today we are back with another episode of Unboxed with me, your host Aisha, and we're joined by one of the most successful athletes in Irish boxing. 12 elite Irish titles, a few common games, a few Europeans, and 2 Olympics in there while you're at it. Michaela Walsh, welcome to the pod. How are you?
Thanks very much for having me. All good. All good.
So for those that, obviously this is like gonna come out, we actually did try and record a few days ago, and when I say we were fucking howling is an understatement.
Oh, stop.
Austrian mountain Wi-Fi was not going well for us, and let's just say we got about 4 seconds into the intro and then that was us, but here we are, round 2. Let's go at it.
Round 2. Just like a boxing fight, ding ding, let's go again.
I know, except that at least this is a bit more chill and we can have a bit more laughs about it. So for those that listened to the last episode with Colin, we changed it up a little bit. We're going to keep the same structure today, so we're going to start quick fire with our Unboxed 11. I do say, Michaela, it is like kind of quick fire, long fire, whatever you kind of want fire.
Okay.
So just whatever tickles your pickle, answer how you want.
Okay.
But we're going to start off really, really easy, okay? Favorite time of the day? It's a really hard one though.
That is a hard one. Because I wouldn't be like a morning person, but obviously with training and stuff, like we'll be up early enough anyway. But I'd probably say like around 11 maybe. You know, like on a rest day and you wake up and you can scroll on your phone for a bit and then chill out, get your coffee. Sort of 11, just a nice time for that.
Priorities,
yeah.
Get the coffee in before you speak to anyone and then it's good to go.
100%, definitely.
Okay, next one. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, probably when someone says I love your style, because obviously like I'm sort of into my clothes and my shoes and stuff like that, so sort of when someone says that, I'm like, they appreciate it. I'm like, thank you very much, I appreciate that.
I can definitely back that up, because when I say, like, every time you come up my Instagram, I'm like, yeah, rate that fit, here for it, yes. So, guys, go and essentially just stalk Michaela on Instagram, because her outfits are they're a bit sleek, like so highly recommend go and do that. No, actually, to be honest, I'm a great eye stalker, so I find out all my information on Instagram, so just going to put that out there early while I'm at it. Next one, a song or a book that means something to you.
I probably, for a song, like always on the day of a fight, I would always listen to Coldplay, A Sky Full of Stars and Viva la Vida, because I just feel very inspired by the music and by the lyrics. It sort of makes me believe in myself a wee bit, and like when I listen to them and nearly get into like, it sounds a bit cringy, but like a warrior mindset, like I'm going out to battle, and them songs just remind me of that and bring me back to the present moment in a way. So I'd always get like a freezing cold shower before I go to the arena. So like I have that music, I always have that two of the songs, one before the other or vice versa, playing, and it sort of gets me in that frame of mind for fighting. So I'd say that both of them probably mean a lot to me.
They are absolute bangers of a song, and it's not cringy at all, because I can literally just imagine there you standing like cold shower, like eyes closed, just like, come on, tough, hit me.
No,
literally,
don't hit me, let me hit you.
Yeah, I dare ya, fucking dare ya. So also actually quick put in there for people who can't hear, me and Michaela are from the same part of Ireland, from up north, so if it gets quite thick at times, I do apologise, but welcome to how we talk. Like,
you're gonna have to have subtitles probably at the bottom, I'd say.
I know, so if you don't understand anything, just go watch the video, because the subtitles will be there for you. Okay, next one. What makes you smile the most?
Makes me smile the most? Probably spending time with my niece, Olivia. She's coming for next Friday. Just like, I think like once she was born, it sort of reminded me, I used to always identify as an athlete or as a boxer. And since she was born, I see myself in a different way. Like I'm so much more than that. I'm an auntie, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a girlfriend, I'm kind, I'm aunt, like whatever, like so many more different things. And like that, I come home from a competition, whether I've done well or haven't, and she just sees me, her auntie, that wants to go out and play and go to the swimmers and go to the park and stuff like that. So I think like spending time with her really brought out the human again in me. So like spending time with her, I just absolutely love it, so I do, and it just I'm just really, really proud to be her auntie.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Like, and especially at that age, they're just so fun, and you can
So
be having
funny.
the crappiest day in the world, and they'll tell you that they will let you know if
Yeah.
it's been crap or if you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But they are so just honest and warm, and it's the best age, definitely. I
Oh,
agree.
definitely.
Okay, next, 3 things you can't live without.
Oh, 3 things I can't live without. I'd say my phone. Obviously, I love to scroll, but because it has a camera, it has you can pay, you can do everything basically on it. So my phone would definitely be a top one. Um, I'd say my girlfriend because we're best friends and do everything with each other. So definitely her, and her jail. But
Fair,
I
you
have
need
to
it.
keep the her in
Need it
check.
for the slick. We're
Need it for the
both we're
slick
both
back.
yeah, literally. The flyaways are not doing well with this
No,
weather anyway. Okay, number 6, what is inspiring you in life right now?
right now I'd say always my biggest inspiration has been my brother, and it still is. At the minute, he's trying to get organised like a program. But he's been doing a bit of study in combat sports and how it can really help young people, because obviously people think combat sport is violence, but there's so much more you can get from it. So he's actually trying to run a program at the minute, get a group of young people, pick them up, bring them out for food, stuff like that, and bring them into a boxing gym and take them for training session and stuff. So he's just flat out at the minute. He's just doing all like stuff like that, and he's in the middle of his masters and stuff. And I just look up to him, being like, "Geez, if I'm like half the person you are, like I'd be doing well." Do you know? And I think everyone obviously speaks so highly of him, and I'm like, "Geez, that's my baby brother," like, you know. So like just everything that he does, he always inspires me. Even just to be a better person, and as well as him, he's like, "You're so much more than a boxer." Do you know? I get that from him as well, and no, he's always been my inspiration, and I think he always will be.
Yeah, shout out Aidan. He is, again, in his own category, an absolute elite athlete, but we'll definitely get on to him later on because your
Definitely.
relationship is it's phenomenal. Like, I literally have goosebumps already thinking about it, so I can't wait for you to even just start talking about him.
Yeah.
But we'll finish off these. If you weren't a boxer, what would you be?
Oh, I used to play football when I was younger, and like, just actually, my dad had me in football, basketball, badminton, swimming. Jesus, nearly judo, like every single sport, and obviously like boxing was the one. But I used to play football when I was younger, and I remember we had a match on the Saturday morning, and I got told I had a fight on the Saturday morning. So like, what one do you go to? And what annoyed me about that, and I know you're obviously in a team sport as well, but I was always the one like run up and down to get the ball, like always like get the ball, like always wanting like obviously you can competitive, like wanting to win, but others were there to have fun. And I suppose when you're a kid, that is what it's about. But I felt like it was always me trying to work the hardest and stuff, and it sort of annoyed me about that. Like people are like, you should be putting the same effort as I am, and they weren't. So I think from boxing, it's on you. Like you're the one putting in the time and effort, and you're the one getting the reward. So I think I actually remember when I was younger. I was like, "What do you go to?" And I was like, "Going to boxing." And then I think that's when I stopped playing football and just stuck with the boxing. So I'd like to think it'd be maybe semi decent footballer when I was younger. I don't know about now, so I'd say probably maybe a football player.
No, I could definitely see it because I feel like people like us, well, one, we were thrown out the house and into every sport to burn off energy, especially kids up around our neck of the woods.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then two, normally if you're good at one thing, you pick up
You
quite
do,
a lot of
you
things.
do,
So
you do.
I can see it. Like, you definitely be good at the football now,
Yeah.
100%. Sure, we'll throw. But here, whenever if we've ever come into any problems, I can go into boxing and then you can move on to football and then we'll be grand.
Happy days. That's all you want.
Grand job. Okay, what's the biggest misconception about you?
um, I'd say for all boxers, people think like boxers are so like tough and strong, and they don't cry or show emotion. But I think that's not true at all. I think as a high performance athlete, you sort of have to be vulnerable in a way, um, and try to be your true self. And I think people like have that about boxers that are so tough and strong, but Like, we're just like any other, not only any other athlete, but any other human. Like, you have your bad days and you cry and sometimes you feel like quitting and, like, and I suppose that's like every other athlete, but I think that, yeah, people think that about boxers and it's not the truth. And like, you're going out to the ring. Sometimes I'm walking out to the ring going, Jesus Christ, I could be sitting down 8 o'clock at night with a cup of tea watching Coronation Street. Like, I don't have to be here. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm going in to try to punch the head of someone, and they're going to try and punch the head of me. Like, that is, that's not what you're built for. Like, it's crazy. And then after, you're like, that was the best thing in the world. It's mad. Like, but like after, like, when it's done, like, you're like, no, I do love it. But sometimes you do question yourself, going like, I'm actually choosing to do this for a living. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I think they're like boxers or something wrong. To be fair, there is something wrong with you. Like, if you want to do that.
Honestly, I like completely agree, because I think sports is amazing. It's so much fun, and there's so many benefits of it, like physical, mental, everything, right? But the shit we choose to put ourselves through,
Oh,
you're
it's
just
mad.
like, what on
I
earth?
know.
Like
It's
you choose to get punched in the head. I choose to get hit with balls for a living. Like, what on earth are we doing to ourselves?
oh,
We'd be lucky
it's
if we get
mad.
to 16 and not in a
I
wheelchair.
know, yeah. It's mad, like, isn't it? When you actually think about it, like, like, you're gloved up and you're both like in the center, like, scoring off against each other. You're like, what am I at? Like, But
Mad.
after you're
Mad.
like, after you just go, geez, no, I love it. Like, love it.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline that just gets you through. You're
Yeah,
just like, oh, I
definitely.
need that hit
You
again.
do, definitely, definitely.
Okay, last two. One experience that significantly shaped who you are today.
Jeez, that's a tough one. I'd say
Yeah, I
actually
like to make
probably,
it deep.
yeah. I'd say, you know what? Like, I remember my first Commonwealth Games. I got selected. I think it was only 20, and it's mad. Like, when you're so young, the belief you have in yourself. Like, I'd be like, I beat this person, beat that person. And I remember going in the Commonwealth Games. It was a current Olympic champion was at my weight, Nicola Adams, and like, I
She's a
was like,
boxer now.
yeah, yeah, and I was 2021, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna beat her. Like, and I was like, when I look back, I go, gee, where did you get this like confidence from? And I remember going into the ring and like I said, scoring off against her, and I was like, I'm gonna beat you. And that decision was actually really controversial. I still say, like, to this day, like, I know I won, but that's boxing. Like, you get fights like that. And I remember from that there, I won a silver medal and I was devastated. But from that there, I would just remember going, Jesus, I can really like do this. Like, I feel like I could be one of the best boxers in the world. And it was like not only having that belief, but then going out and like putting in a performance like that against the current Olympic champion at such a young age. I think I was like, no, like, this is what I'm made for, kind of, in a way. So I'd probably say maybe that experience would be, Jesus, I'm trying to think of different ones, but that just one that came to my mind for now.
Mm.
So it
No,
has.
that's class. Like, like what a moment in itself. Like, last one. How do you stay true to yourself? How do you stay unboxed?
I think I just like I said, just try to be myself. Like, try not to change for anyone. Just like, you're gonna get people obviously that like you and don't like you, but that's not gonna change how I act. Because there's probably people out there go, she's a bitch or she's whatever, and there's other people, oh, I love her, she's brilliant, and and that's life. Everyone in life, there's people I don't like and you don't like, and but like, I'm not gonna change just because you don't like me. And I've obviously, I think, having good people around you. I'm very lucky. I'm very close to my family. Very close, obviously, with my girlfriend and stuff. So I think just having a good circle of people around you, that support your decisions, and call you out as well when you're not doing the right thing. I know, like, you obviously see some athletes start to do well, and the sort of, you're like, she never used to be like that, or he never used to be like that. Where I'm lucky, like, if I was getting on, like, I'm the queen now, Aidan would be like, he'd be putting me in saying, who do you think you are? Like, come on, wise up. Remember where
Yeah.
you came from. Just because you've achieved something doesn't mean you are someone. Like, I'm no different than my next door neighbour. Or do you know what I mean? I like to think like everyone's the same, and obviously I've just been lucky enough to achieve a wee bit, and that's all really.
That, like, that perspective is honestly amazing, because as you say, there's so many people that we do meet in sport, in life, and everything, and their ego gets, we at home would say you're getting a bit too big for your
Yeah,
boots.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And but I think it's like how you have those people around you that keep you grounded, that like that's so amazing. But like, has it always been like that for you? Have you always found that you've been grounded, or you've kept yourself in that space where, no, like I'm the same as my neighbor, like we're all trying to do something?
Yeah, like don't get it can be hard as well because obviously like you sort of know you've went away and you've had a bit of success. Like, oh Jesus, not to just feel like you are someone, but you be proud of it, and it obviously it feeds into the ego. As I say, ego's the enemy, and you be lying to say that sometimes you don't. Not that you think you're better than people, but when you've achieved something, you're like you sort of get that bit. But it's sort of like having the right people around you, and like I said, and sometimes people are like that and they wouldn't even notice. Do you know? It is easy done, and for anyone that achieves anything, not only in sport but in life as well, it can be hard, you know. So I think like that having the right people around you, like, can you be like, listen, you're getting on like a bit of a perk here, like, just letting you know, and then they'll be like, oh, am I? Because like, just sometimes you might not realize it, but like, if you have someone there that can be honest with you and be like, so you're getting on like this, and then you'll be like, oh right, and may reel it in a wee bit, like, do you know what I mean? So
I wind your neck in.
mind your nagging. My mabby slapped me the back of the head. Who do you think you are?
We are not, folks, we are not promoting violence at home, but a wee clip around the ear whenever you were younger
Yeah.
did not go
No.
did not go far wrong. But did you find that, so like you said, whenever you were younger, that you were 21, you're fighting Nicola Adams, you're like, oh, I can beat her, I have all this confidence, whatever. Did that circle and that group around you help with that as well? Because not everyone has that. Not everyone has that maybe confidence in themselves to try and go and see this big challenge and it's like, yeah, I can do this, let's go. Like, how did you manage that? How did that come about?
See, I sort of get my confidence from my preparation. Because when I first started boxing, women like didn't box, and I remember in the boxing club, one of the coaches at the time said that girls training harder than all of you boys, and that like really like stuck out to me. I was like every session I was going to have like I have to train hard, and because I was the only girl, like I had to try like and stand out in a way. And so like for training, like I could, you know, like people would only have so many weeks preparation. Like I if I went into a tournament and I didn't feel prepared, like my confidence, I would have no confidence. So I think always from training nearly as hard as I possibly can, I sort of got that confidence. And around that time, Paddy Barnes and Michael Collin was on the team, and they were. I remember them going to me, "You'll beat Nick Adams, no problem." I always remember like they would have said that to me, and I was like, "These are Olympic medalists, like people I look up to," and they're saying that to me as well. And then I think as well because I was training with them, like you're training with the best of the best. I think that as well, that gives you confidence in a way. You're going, I'm doing the same training as these top tier athletes. So I think that gives you the confidence as well. And I think like that having people that believe in you. But obviously there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness. And she's probably back in maybe a little bit cocky or whatever, but I think like your confidence can be silent, and it's sort of like as you get older you realise that you don't need to be shouting, I'm gonna beat such and such, I'm gonna do this. Like if you're confident in yourself and in your own ability, you don't need to share it with other people, do you know, as well. Well, you can, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel for me, like I can go into a tournament, I don't need to do a big post on Instagram saying I'm gonna be a world champion, I'm gonna achieve this. Deep down if I know that, that's all I need, that's all the belief I have. And like I said, having the people around me, if they believe in me, that's gonna even feed more into my confidence.
I think that just shows it's like you're kind of a product of your environment. Like, it's something that we in my team talk about quite a lot, is like creating that culture for yourself that allows you to thrive and allows you to grow. And if you're with people who believe in you, are trying to support you, who understand what you want to do and who you are, you're just going to grow as an individual, as a person, as an
100%.
athlete. And yeah, I think that it clearly shows that you had pretty decent people around you,
Yeah.
because you've done quite okay and turned out quite okay.
Yeah, not too bad. Thank God.
Not too bad indeed. But you were saying that, so whenever you're younger, you were the only girl in the boxing club. Like, how is that? Because I think obviously now it's a big topic. We're
Yeah.
trying to improve the media access, like showcasing what us as female athletes can do. Back then, like, I think similar to me, it was normal for us. Like, I'd just go and play football with the lads. Off you go, no problem. But how was that for you? And did you ever notice that there was a shift, or at one point there was a shift that, yeah, you were a bit different than the guys?
Yeah, so when I actually first started, Aidan, my dad had brought Aidan down to the boxing club. He was sort of around that age. Bullies and stuff were about. So my dad used to be a boxer himself, and he said he'll bring Aidan down to the boxing club. And we sort of, me and Aidan, we've always been like best friends when we were kids. Like, I was always with Aidan and with the boys, football under the arm, like always. So him and a few of our friends had went to the boxing club, and I said, "Oh, brilliant, down to the boxing club." My daddy says, "No, you're a girl, you can't go." I went, "What?" But he wasn't against me going to the boxing club. Women's boxing was alien. Like, he didn't even know women were allowed to box. And I tortured him every time they were going down. I was like, "Can I go? Can I go?" No, 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 no. Kept saying no. So a few weeks went by, and he was friends with the head coach, Sean Canavan. It was his boxing club. That's where my dad used to box. And he said, "Can I bring my daughter down?" And he said, "Yes, of course, no problem." And I remember, I can still like face it now, walking in and a boxing gym. There's a smell. For people probably that don't box, they probably go, "It stinks in here." But it's like,
Probably.
yeah, and it does, to be fair. But I remember, like, I was just really intrigued. The smell, and the bags were swinging and people were punching the bag, and I was nearly in awe, like, when I walked in. And like, from that moment, like, I was hooked. And like I said, I remember the coach at the time saying, like, that girl, like, trains harder than any of you boys. So I live in West Belfast, so St Agnes is only, say, from my mummy's house down, it was like, say, a 30-minute walk. So I would have jogged or walked down every night, and then ran home, give my daddy my bag, and would have ran home after. Like, I was just obsessed, like, with the training, loved everything about it. But the problem was, I wasn't getting, like, they weren't really letting me spar or take me on the path and stuff. And I remember when you're like a boxer, well, when you're boxing, you can't legally fight until you're 11. So I was 13. Aidan's 4 years younger than me, and so you would have fights, but they're not proper sanctioned fights, so you call it an exhibition. So you can win, but it wouldn't go down in your record book. And Aidan would have, like, been fighting all over the country, club shows at different weekends, so we would have been all over. And I remember, this always comes back to me. One time we went into a club show, and Aidan had asked one of the coach, not our coach, the coach of the club, "Who am I fighting tonight?" And he said, "You're fighting Joe Bloggs," or whoever it was. And I said to him, "Who am I fighting?" And he laughed, and he laughed and was like, "Women aren't allowed to box." And I remember that sticking with me, and I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like, and I was only 13 at the time. I still remember it. And he actually, a few years ago, his daughter boxes. He came to me and asked for a bit of a fight for her. And I was sort of in a group of people, so I didn't want to say it to him, because I wouldn't want to embarrass him in front of people. But I was like, I remember that time that you said that to me, and it could have went one or two ways. I could have just went, "No, I'm not doing this anymore," or, like, before, like, "I'm gonna prove you wrong." And I just remember that, like, when I was 13, saying that, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like, how dare you say that to me? Who are you to tell me what I can't do? Do you know? And
I love
that's
that. I
always
think,
always stuck with me.
no, I think that is class. Like, to have that mindset, to be, and I think that is a very Irish, Northern Irish thing, like, where you're just like, we want to prove people wrong. Like, we're almost
Yeah,
so
yeah.
stubborn that I'm like,
Stubborn.
if
That's
you
what
think
it
I
is.
can't do this, bet, let's
Yeah.
put money on it. I will be doing that. And I think, yeah, like, that's class to see kind of how probably you've come full circle now, that you were probably one of the starters fresh. Like, people are telling you that females can't box, and then now here
I
you
know.
are, like, one of the most successful boxing athletes that our country has had. And then this man's coming to you for advice. Like, yeah, that's just, I think that's unbelievable. Like, that's
Yeah, it's
class.
mad. Like, it's mad when you think back, because, like, even back then, Katie Taylor, I think Katie Taylor would have been an amateur world champion back then, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know who Katie Taylor was. That's how, like, it just wasn't obviously put in the media and stuff. Not obviously social media wasn't big and all back then, but just it was, like, unheard of, you know. And then, even like when you were going to these sort of tournaments and stuff, it was still sort of like, it wasn't big, kind of. I've actually been elite from I've been 17, but because I wasn't an Olympic weight, we weren't sent to, like, these big tournaments. Obviously now, like, I'm a full-time athlete down in Sport Ireland. We're based down there, but that we didn't have that back then. And like, it's amazing now, like a younger athlete coming on, it's elite, and they're getting all this treatment that we should have had back then. But like Katie Taylor obviously winning the first gold in London 2012, and like now you're in 2025. The difference, like, is like day and night. It's unbelievable, and I think it's amazing for like younger girls coming through the facilities and being able to get like wouldn't have been able to get. I remember going to European Championships, and like I said, I wasn't an Olympic weight. There was only 3 Olympic weights at the time, and I had on the card anyway. I had achieved the criteria to get funding, but I didn't get it because I wasn't an Olympic weight. Do you know? Where that's all changed now, and I think that's amazing. Like, for young people coming through, there's a pathway for them now, and that's for the likes of like you've Katie Taylor, Kelly Harrington's, myself, and others. Like, the pathways are now for females coming through, and oh, it's amazing. Like,
100%. I think we, as a very small isle, produce some pretty class athletes, but boxers especially, like, our boxing program is phenomenal. We're known throughout the world. I've had many conversations with people all over the world, so it's class to see that kind of that exposure is now there, and the platform for younger kids to come through, and especially girls. I think it's so amazing to see girls take up sports like boxing, like all the combat sports, because as you said it before, where a lot of times people wouldn't see that maybe it's quite a male dominated sport. So it's like, if you had a kid come to you now, like a young girl, and she was debating about getting in, like, how would you try and convince her? What advice would you give her that are the benefits of boxing and how to get into it?
the benefits, Jesus, are mad. Like, even for like mental health and stuff, it's just amazing. And the friendships you make with people, like, people think boxing, you can box and never have contact with people. There's so many different ways to train, and I just think like in a boxing club, it's like a community, it's like a family. It brings people together. Especially like girls boxing so big now. The women's boxing team's actually higher ranked than the male boxing team. If you had it,
Let's go.
do you know, like, if you said that 10 years ago, people would laugh in your face. Do you know what I mean?
Really laugh.
Do you know? And for young girls coming through, you can make a career out of this if you really wanted to. But not only that, there's so much benefit. The people that you meet along the way, and the friendships, and it's just, like I said, like, it's just a community, a family, and just a safe space where you can go and just be yourself. You're not judged. Like, sometimes people, like, starting a boxing, like going into a boxing club, go, "Oh, I'm training with such and such, but I want to box. I look like an idiot." See, when I'm in training, it could be Mickey Mouse there, and I wouldn't even notice. I'm just so focused in on, like, my training session, like, I wouldn't even know you're there in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
You think people are watching your every movement. It's not like that at all. Like, in my own boxing club, I give me or Aidan as an Olympian, and it could be someone here as a novice, and we're no different in that boxing gym. We're no different. We're all the same. So for anyone, like, to start off, like, to wanting to start, like, obviously you can think it can be intimidating, but it's not at all. You're no different from the bottom to the top up. You're treated the exact same. You'll get coached the exact same, and I just like boxing. It just brings people together. So it does.
Well, speaking of family, it is obviously very close in your family, because your big younger brother, Aidan, is used to are like two peas in a pod.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love it, because I'm like, again, brother and sister, you're one of the first brother and sister duos to compete in boxing in Tokyo and in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is pretty unbelievable. Aidan won casually his bronze medal in Tokyo.
That's right.
As
yeah.
he did. Phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
how on earth does this appear in your family? Like, two extreme elite boxers. Like, your parents have great genes. Great genes.
I know, yeah.
But what's it like training and being on the team with your brother, traveling the world, competing in all these competitions? Like, what is that like?
Oh, Jesus, it's like, I think I do really appreciate. Obviously, like, it was like a dream come true. But I think sort of when we're older, that's what we said. We'll be in an old folks home together, going, "Do you remember a time we went to the Olympics?" And I'll have the match. I'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Won't know what's going on. Too many blows to the head. But no, like, Jesus, it's amazing. Like, just to have, sometimes when you're away, you know yourself, you can get a bit homesick and stuff. And just to go to have that person, like have that safe space there, like being away, like we even in Dublin we were to share a room and stuff together, and like if I ever needed like any advice, like I always say like Jesus, he's my coach, my counselor, like he's like everything, like he does everything for me, like even coming up the Irish Championships were there about 2 weeks ago, and he's just right into his studies at the minute of his masters, and there he was like helping coaching me, like do you know what I mean? Anything I need, like he's there, but to be able to go, it's mad because when we're younger, you're like we're going to go to the Olympics together, but it's mad like you say that with such a belief, but not that you didn't believe it, but you go, and then you were, geez, imagine that happened, like, and it's crazy. And I remember for the first time going to Tokyo, we're actually qualified together, and whatever, like when the boxing schedule comes out, whatever, like the prelims and all, like that never really changes. And on the, I would have qualified a day before him, but whatever way the schedule it changed, so it did for some reason, which was really weird. And I was on about an hour before him, and I remember going, "Why did this happen?" Like like I'd be really nervous when he's fighting. The anxiety, I can't, like it's so bad. And I remember the schedule changing, going, Jesus, the day to qualify for the Olympics, and they've put us on the same schedule. Like why? Why would they do that?
That's mad.
And I remember I came out of the ring, and I remember my hand getting raised, and just going like, Jesus, I've qualified for the Olympics. And I think it lasted 3 seconds, and I just remember going, oh Jesus, oh it's Aidan's turn. It hit me straight away, so I couldn't even fully like celebrate being qualified. And when you got out of the ring, they greeted you with a ticket, like say you have qualified for Tokyo, handed me the ticket. And I remember walking back, and I was chaperoned. I had to get anti-dopamines with me.
Classic.
As we French women follow me about, and I remember having the ticket. And Aidan was in the warm up area, and I just remember saying to him, I think you better have one of these. So I obviously was waiting to get drug tested, and I just says, please, my brother's fighting. Here, will you come up? She was dead on to be first, so we were sitting in the stand, and he was fighting a Ukrainian guy. I think he was number 3 or 4 in the world, and my nerves were racked. Like, and Aidan, if you've ever seen him fighting, he's obviously back foot, like very hard to hit, very hard to pin down. And I remember going into the last round, he was up going into the last round, but your mom was coming on strong, and I was just praying, shouting, screaming. People, you know, people hate being beside me in an arena because I'm like a hyena shouting and screaming. Like no one, honestly, people you don't want to be near me when he's fighting. I promise you. I was squealing anyway. He qualified, and I just remember falling to the knees, and just when he qualified, it was like me qualifying. I was like me winning in that moment. And the guys from the Olympic Federation came down to me and says, do you want to give Aidan this ticket? Go down and give Aidan this ticket. So I got to go like backstage, and the wee chaperone's with me. I was like, she has to come with me. She's my anti-doping officer. Like, she has to come with me. And they give me the ticket, and I was able to give it to him. Like, and just that day, I feel the stars aligned. Like, what was the chances of that? Like, and we were the only 2 Irish boxers on that day. So just to have that moment, I always say it's probably the best moment of like my whole career, because kids growing up and going through everything together, and just for us both to qualify on the same day, like it just, oh, it was I can't even, I even get goosebumps thinking about it. Like I don't think anything will ever top that. Like it was unbelievable. So it was.
I literally have goosebumps sitting listening to you, because I'm like, I can only imagine just the roller coaster of emotions that is you're going through. Is like, because you're so happy, but then you have so much admiration for your brother, and you're like, shit, well, like I want him to qualify as well. And then you're like straight away thinking about him. I'm like, that for me, that just shows like the relationship that you both have, is how much you just value each other, and how much you just want to support each other and do so well. And I think that's, I love that, because it could be so easy in a family where you have 2 very competitive elite athletes, and you're almost fighting for that attention, or fighting to be the better one. And it's not very often you hear of how much support you give each other. And I love that. I think it's, again, so many people can just take and learn from that. Is like, you don't have to compete with someone to lift them up. Like, you can literally support them and still do your own thing.
100%.
Class. Just class.
But
That's all I have to say.
Even for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, the last games there, because like I'm a lighter weight, so I'd always be on first. But the day of the finals, he was on before me. oh Jesus, it was the worst thing in the world. So I obviously couldn't go to the arena because I was the last Northern Irish boxer to box that night. So I remember being in the hotel room, like on my iPad, like when he was landing punches, jumping up and down, and then I was like, right, you're fighting later on, relax, like relax. And then obviously like he won, like I was just like, oh, like I felt like I'd won my goal, and I was lying down. I went, oh Jesus Christ, now I have to do it. Like I don't know how he stays so cool and calm when I'm on before him. Like he's just relaxed. Like where I'm like so like anxious and stuff. Like I don't know, is it maybe from being an older sister, or I don't know what it is, but I hate if he like that's the first ever time that happened that he was on before me, and oh, it was the worst thing ever. Like so,
Oh, mad the life of a boxer. But anyway, we've spoke so much about boxing, and of course, that's a huge part of who you are. But what we actually want to know is, who is Michaela away from boxing?
I'm just a normal everyday person. Um, I just love, like I said, I'm a big family person. I love spending time with my family, with my girlfriend, with my niece. At the weekend, like going to the cinema. Love going out, getting a coffee, putting a cool outfit on. Like literally, like the small things. Like I'm just like anyone else. After boxing, I'm going to get into the coaching side of things. I'm very passionate about coaching and stuff, and I think I've always been like that from obviously being Aidan's older sister. When he was growing up, I remember like if we were doing stuff, like if I had learned like something straight away, like I would have brought it back. You would have used my mum's pillows in the house. I used to crack up because all the feathers now were going out of them.
There's no shape to them.
No shape to them. They were dented, and the floorboards up the stairs from shadow boxing all the time. I says there later on, like if I do well, I'll get you new floorboards. So I haven't done
Get
it
rid
yet.
of the creaks.
Get rid of the creaks. But no, so I think I'd love to sort of get into the coaching side of things, and it's obviously hard at the minute when you're a full time athlete, because training takes up so much of your time. But it's definitely something like I want to get into. But people think I live a mad lifestyle or whatever, but I'm just so chill. Like just go and get my niece, go to the park. Like I'm pushing the kids. The big spider webs. I'm pushing the kids off, like trying to get to the top as fast as I can.
Oh yeah, that competition doesn't go.
No, it doesn't go. Having a race and you can let her win. No, she has to learn to speed up.
Breeding athletes already. I'm here for that.
Breeding athletes already. Definitely.
Do you find that because you live such like a hectic life of being an athlete, that those simple things in life, do you find it easy to step back and enjoy them more, or has that taken time to learn as you got older?
I think taking time. I think because sometimes like taking days off and doing stuff, I used to feel nearly guilty as an athlete. And obviously that can come from social media because you open up Instagram and you're seeing other athletes. I done a 5K or 10K this morning, and you're lying in bed going, Jesus, should I be doing that? And you're like, the older you get, like, here, you're only after doing a full week's training there, like, today's your only rest day. Like, you know what I mean? And you can feel guilty for stuff. And I think the older and more mature you get as an athlete, yep, like, you're like, you know your body that little bit more, and you're like, when I was younger, maybe I could have done like that extra training session or done X, Y, and Z. But I think as you get older, like you have to look after your body that bit. Like if you want to compete at the high level, it's training smarter, not harder, in a way. And I always used to be like that. Be first one in the gym, train the hardest, last one out. That only works for so long, but you have to look after your body, like, and especially the older you get. And it's like, what did they say? That saying, comparison is a thief of joy. Is that the saying?
I haven't a clue, but I already love that.
I think I've seen on a TikTok. Like I think it was a guy. I remember it was a guy doing weights, and the girl came up to him and was like, "Oh, it's so impressive." And they'd like, "No, it's not. Like these other guys are lifting heavier." And like, so the comparison is a thief of joy, and it's so true.
I
like,
love that.
So true. Like because sometimes like you feel like you're going, "Oh, someone can like, oh, you done so well, yeah, but she done better than me, or she's achieved more," and you're like, but they're on a different journey from you, and you don't know. People like, and it is easy. Everybody does do it. You see something, go, oh, she has this, and I don't, or like, I have to win this medal before I'm 25. Why? Because she done it. But you're different than her. Like everyone has their time to shine, or everyone's journey is completely different, and as humans, we do compare ourselves to other people but like everybody is your own person, you know. And I think I've learned that as well. The older I get as well, like, and like I said, like I don't know when I'll retire from boxing, but when I do, like from now, I said anything I achieve now is a bonus. Because like if I look back when I was a kid, and if you said to me you're going to be an Olympian, I would have went chop my two arms off now. Like I would do anything in life to be an Olympian. And then I was an Olympian, and then to go right, I don't have a medal. I have to get a medal. Do you know? And it's always like that. That obviously my dream is to be an Olympic champion, and I'll still chase it. But if I don't get it, so what? As long as I stay true to myself and do everything I can possibly to try and achieve that. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. When I was younger, I would have, if I didn't get this medal, or if I lost, I would have beat myself up. I'm not worthy enough. Like I'm not good enough. But that's not true at all. You're more than worthy. You're more than winning a medal. And sometimes I've went away and I've won medals, and they're sitting on the mantelpiece, or they're in the cupboard, and I can't tell you the last time I looked at a medal. So what if you're a medal? You can still be a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying, some people probably say that I am or I'm not. I don't know. But as long as you stay true to yourself, like no medal or any achievement can beat that.
I think that's so true, and I honestly could not agree more, especially because, like as you said, nowadays social media is a joke, and everyone is comparing themselves to everyone. And I completely agree with the point that everyone has their own journey in life, everyone has their own normal, everyone has their own experiences of where they are in those moments. And I think you kind of encapsulated it there in a whole moment where it was just, if you stay true to yourself, like no matter what you do, you can be proud of that. And I think that's something that so many people, it's easier said than done. It takes time. You have to learn that, and you are going to compare yourselves when you're younger. You don't just have that straight away. But how did you be able to navigate that space where you go from comparing yourselves to others to now you're sitting here and you know that you're on your own journey? How did that come about for you?
I think just like experiences and going around the world, going to these competitions and chasing this thing, like chasing nearly perfection. It's important. Like you're never going to be perfect. All you can do is try your best. And I think, like I said earlier on, my little niece being born, going home to her, I'm still her auntie, no matter what I've achieved or haven't achieved. I'm still Michaela to her. You know, I'm her auntie, and I think that, just like I said, with experience, you sort of learn to deal with that. And I probably, for every younger athlete listening, they'll be like, it's easy for you to say because you've won all this or whatever, but it's not really. It's not, because I was the same when I was younger. I would looked up Katie Taylor had so many world titles. If I don't win that, then I'm not half as good as her, and that's not the case at all. And like, you can go to a competition. Back, I'm not saying like nothing against anyone that's won, but you could be certain people in your weight category that are just amazing, and then other weight categories are less. Do you know what I mean? And such has achieved, yeah, but she won this medal and I didn't. But like, things happen in life, and you just have to like try to see that the glass is half full in a way. Do you know?
Yeah, completely. It's always half full, and you can make it as full as you want. Yeah, Michaela, you speak so much wisdom, and yes, that comes with time, but I think that's also, from what I've known and what I've heard about you, I think it's one, you as a person, because you're just so warm and so positive, and you know who you are. And I think that
Yeah,
that in itself will always stand true to you. And I think that no matter what, again, as you said, what you do, if you stay true to that, everything else, especially once you've achieved your dreams, yes, everyone has dreams, but once you've achieved them, then the rest is a bonus. And I think then you can just look back, be happy, and be like, that was a hell of a journey.
yeah. And I think, do you know what? When you look back, I was even saying to the girls like the other day, for the Olympics, obviously all of us had a dream, and it was achievable to win a medal, and obviously it didn't happen. So when I look back to tournaments, I actually look, it's the memories I remember, and like and I remember like years ago, like I would have had to be like, I have to go to bed at 10:30, or like I can't sit out with the girls and have a cup of tea, come train early in the morning. Like I'm not gonna have a Kinder Bueno like with a cup of tea. Like I would have been like like, and then you're like, that's not what it's about. Like you have to enjoy it. Like you have to enjoy your life as well. And then I would have felt guilty nearly for enjoying life in the way, being like, no, but I'm a high performance athlete. I can't eat a packet of sweets. But that's not what it is. If you're doing the small the right things. Obviously, everything in moderation. But when you look back, you want to look back and say, Jesus, I had an amazing time. And obviously, you go away, you want to perform to the best of your ability. And there's a saying in boxing, like a happy boxer is a dangerous boxer. And like, that is so, so true because like even coming up the Paris or last year, like I was in like a bad place. So it was like I actually wasn't even going to go to the Olympic Games. So it wasn't. I was
Wow.
yeah, I was done. Like I just says like I'm finished. Boxing was nearly a chore for me, like having to get up. And Aidan is obviously he's quite open and outspoken about his mental health and the struggles and stuff. And I that's one thing I always looked up to Aidan for, being especially as a man, being brave to speak up and say I need help. And I looked up to him for that, but I felt because I'm a big sister in a way, I can't speak up and say I need help. And I was sort of struggling with this by myself, and finally did. He opened up, and the clinical psychologist sport Aaron Paul Gaffney.
What a man.
What a man
That
he is. Oh,
that man
unbelievable.
does not get paid enough for what he does.
No, no, he is unbelievable. And Aidan had always worked with him, and he always said to me even before, I was struggling. You should always just talk to him and speak to him or whatever. I remember I eventually did reach out and ask for help, and I was saying like I don't know if I'll go to the Olympics because obviously I'd already been to Tokyo, and it says no matter what I'm an Olympian for life if I go or don't. And at this stage, I was actually qualified early, so and there was just a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff going on in training, and just I was just really really wasn't happy, and sort of what actually I was obviously working with Paul, so I was getting into a better space, and he had decided to come back and give qualification to go to Paris. So once he qualified in Thailand. He had 6 fights back to back to qualify. Like his qualification was like
Ruthless.
it was I don't know how I don't know I don't think I would have been able to do it. Like I actually don't know how he done it. Like someone was looking down on him like he was just to come
He
through.
had all the goals.
Yeah, he did. Like I still to this day do not know how he done it, but so once he sort of qualified, that sort of lit the fire inside of me again. And obviously then working with Paul Gaffney was amazing. But still like going out to Paris, I was sort of only coming into myself again. And over in Paris I wasn't happy with my performance, like how I performed or anything. But I don't look back at that Olympics being like sort of the start it was like geez, like I was depressed that year and like it really took away from my preparation stuff. Like an envy nearly I look back at it, but I've sort of accepted it now. I'm like that was part of my journey. Like I wasn't even going to go to the Olympics. Like and that like and I felt guilty for that because I was like people like try their whole lives to go to the Olympics and they don't achieve that. And there's me. I've already went to the Olympics, I've qualified, and I don't even want to go. I nearly felt guilty in a way, like saying that I don't want to go because I know how much the Olympics means to people and what people do to go to the Olympics. And there's me, not that I didn't care, but like that's how bad I felt. I was like, I like do not want to I do not want to do this anymore. I would have done anything to get out of boxing and to feel like that. But as time goes on, like I've accepted that, and then going to the Olympics, like I had the best time with like my teammates, like it was amazing. And I don't look back at the Olympics, looking back on my performance or how I felt in the lead up. I look back at that tournament and say the time I had with my friends and my family being over, like that's what I remember from the Olympics. And sometimes you think that the Olympics is all about performance and all that, and yes, it is. But for what I went through, to get back again, working with Paul and stuff to get in a good place and to actually enjoy it. I think that's what I remember from that. And even if I had won a medal, yes, obviously it would have been amazing, and that's what my goal was. But I think I still would look back and remember the memories that I made more so than anything else.
That I'm just sitting here in awe because, firstly, thank you so much for sharing that. I think to be able to say that you were struggling and you chose for yourself to set out and seek help. That's something that so many people around the world can do. That it's there, it's possible, but to choose to do it for yourself and to say, I can't do this by myself anymore. And the support of Aidan and Paul,
Yeah,
big up that man, because honestly, like I wouldn't be here
unbelievable.
either if it wasn't for him. Like what a man,
What
what
a
a man.
man. He just I think I couldn't speak more highly of him, and I think everyone who's ever worked with Paul or even knows Paul Gaffney knows the same. He's an unbelievable human being. Like there's no way out there. I don't see myself feeling good again. He's just I think him and Aidan's like that there. They're like brothers nearly in a way. Aidan hasn't tortured, so he does. He's so man like, and I'm just very privileged to know him and to work with him. He's an unbelievable man.
Unbelievable. But I think there's so many things that we can take from you, your perspective on yourself, on life, and how you choose to represent yourself. I think it's amazing. And there's like, I'm literally sitting here and all like listening to you because I'm like, keep going, because one, I miss our home accent so much, and then two, it's just like you just share wisdom. It just comes off you. You can tell you've experienced life and you've grabbed life with two hands and you're like, let's fucking give this a go. And I think that, yeah, that perspective I love, and I think so many of the listeners can take a million things from this episode listening to you.
Oh, thank you very
but even
much.
if you take one, yeah, Michaela, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I've loved having you on the pod.
Thank you very much for having me. Been amazing.
Well, sure, we might get part 2, and then next time I'll actually maybe switch it up, and then we'll bring the sports involved and see how that goes. Folks, if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you tune in to the rest of our season of Unboxed. There's tons of episodes to catch up on. Make sure to follow us on the social medias, and keep up to date with what's going on behind the scenes. But until the next episode, stay unboxed.